So now that that's out, cutting out all the boards, all the carpentry and all the bits and pieces. I've got the shelf measurements. Preparing the water pump, cable tie, all this like this, because this one here is obviously going to go on a board either that way. I have popped the switch out. That was nice and easy. You can see on the screen there it's G'day there, Diesel here for Get Around Oz, camper trailer travelling, and thanks for clicking on the video today. There's a bit of a snapshot of what's been going on this build so far, but today's video is all about the 12 volt gear that we've got, the installation we're doing, and how all this one here come together. And with this 12 volt setup and installation part of the build here, this video today is going to be part one. There is still more to do, still more to share with you. This video I have tried to share as much detail as I can with you. If there's any questions you have, chuck them in the comments and let me know if I've missed something for you. But I really try to cover off a lot of things that I felt like most people wouldn't do. And those of you who've been dropping in comments or messages or whatever it is, and sharing your thoughts with the feedback and everything that's been going on, thank you. It's really cool to hear from us and I really do appreciate it. So something else I need to let you know about as well, iTECHWORLD have hooked us up with a 5% discount code, so GAA5. I'll chuck on the screen there, but also chuck in the description there. So if you're looking to get any iTECHWORLD gear yourself, make sure you don't pay full bloody price, and that will be off sale prices as well, I believe. And it is only just today I've actually completely finished this build off so far, so there's definitely quite a few videos to come. I reckon that's enough for me. Grab yourself one of these. Hope you enjoy the video. Cheers. Probably going to do this completely differently than I thought I was going to. All these switches here for 240 sockets are on this side here. Because with the shunt, you want to run all your gear into the shunt. And I thought I'd get in the Christmas spirit here with these cables coming out the side here, and there's going to be a couple more coming in there as well. What I've done here is I've got my little testing station. The battery will fit in here, no worries, and these cables are just going to go straight out through. Okay, now I've just spent quite a bit of time up in the side window trying to work this out, because I am now probably going to do this completely differently than I thought I was going to, because initially, you might remember from a previous video, the old control hub had some slightly different configuration. All the Anderson plugs here were on the right side, and the plan was I was going to put this one in here, the inverter would go something like that, 240 sockets on the end there, cabling on this side here. Because the Anderson plugs are on this side, there's going to be too much going on here. This is going to have to go upside down. Now this one here is going to go like that. The DC-DC cables and those types of things can go on the left side here. And the inverter going to go up higher. And that was another thing as well, was when it's in the side window there, I was hoping to have these up a bit higher like this, so I actually had some more shelving space, because unfortunately it's probably something was an oversight for me, was I thought I'd actually have more room there, but turns out once the window's there, I've maybe got that much. Pretty much as far as I can this side here. That means for 240 sockets are on this side here. That's now going to be open, and with it like that, I've got room for the cabling come out here. Remembering the shunt is inside this one here now. I'll show you in a moment, because I don't think I've showed you yet. The cable is going to come out of here into there, into the shunt. Remembering the black cable is the one that goes into the shunt, and it's going to come out of the shunt down through here somewhere. This one here will go down through there. Other bits and pieces like the air compressor, for example, you've got the little holes at the end here, so there's one on the side there, one on the top and through the bottom. So you can see where cable is going to come out across the top there. Remember, it's 90mm cable, so it's massive. The iTECHWORLD cabling does have pretty decent flex. Now, whether you're using 70mm for a 2000 watt inverter or 90mm for a 3000 watt, it is something you need to think about. What I'm going to do now is open this up here, because I do have to put something in there that I don't recommend you doing, because I'm not sure how that look like on your warranty, because this one I'm going to use a 90 amp fuse, or sorry, a 100 amp fuse for the air compressor, because I'm a little bit short on connections there for those ones. Basically, this thing here has the 40 amp DC-DC charger, if you're unaware. All these switches here, 2 SIG sockets, USB-C and 3 USB-As. There is one fast charging USB-A there as well. The USB-C is a 30 watt, which has probably been average speed, to be honest with you. In here, we've got fusing for all the sockets, an extra layer of MIDI fuse in there, so there's plenty of protection in there for your devices and all the gear itself. And this one here also has the actual monitor built on here. I haven't seen it on here yet. It is kind of similar, maybe just a little bit smaller than the one that you get in the BM500, but there you go, there's the inside of this one here. So that's the shunt there. You've got the buzz bar. Now, basically what's happening here is all the switches and connections are all running into the buzz bar here, and you've got one going from the buzz bar into the shunt. I'm going to be going from the inverter into the shunt. So down through the top here is a plan, down through here and onto this big bolt here. So that's going to connect the inverter to the shunt. Then what I'm going to do is running, because with the shunt you want to run all your gear into the shunt, and you want to run one from the shunt to your battery. So essentially the battery is connecting up with this one here, but it's also picking up all the devices before that. So you want to know with your panel how much power something's using, which will also tell you how much sort of battery capacity you've got left and how quickly it's sort of draining as well. Got this the bridge bolt here, so this one essentially is powering the shunt here and all the devices. So you got the MIDI fuses in here, so I forget what ratings they are. I'll chuck them on the screen here now, which are designed, to power up or to handle the Anderson connections. So as you can see here on this side, these 3 connections here are for the DC-DC charger. Then you got these 2 here, which is for solar input, and then this one actually has 4 Anderson connections to be able to plug in any sort of bits and pieces you need. And then when they're coming in, you can see we've got this one going into the shunt, and we actually got these ones here going in and actually going to be fused. Obviously we've got all the switches are all fused here as well. That's just the back of the monitor there. And now this one I might try and fit something like that there. I'm actually going to use some Sikaflex. I was thinking initially of trying to drill into it like these ones here, but I don't think I need to be honest with you. I reckon I'll put some Sikaflex in there, something like that, let that dry, and then what I'll come back and do is I'll be able to run my cabling from the compressor either from the bottom here or into that one there, straight into here, nice and easy. And to fit this one on here, you've got the 1, 2, 3, 4 holes there. Then that's how I'm going to actually fix this one onto the board here, which will be nice and easy. So back on here now, it's here in the garage, and it's It's a 40-degree day here. It's stinking bloody warm, but time is very precious here at the moment. I thought I'd get in the Christmas spirit here with my old Christmas shirt. Sorry, thanks, Juanita. She'll be happy that I'm putting on a bit of a show for you here today. I'll jump to the footage of what I've done with the control hub and the shunt there. I've done quite a bit of pre-wiring. So last few hours I've been fiddling around in the control hub here. Basically what I've done is I've cut a hole for this one here, and obviously I've checked to make sure this cable is going to go nicely across the top and across to inverter here, and I've cut some holes here as well. So this hole here is for the cable coming from the inverter here down to the battery, and these cables coming out the side here, and there's going to be a couple more coming in there as well, and that one there is for this one under here. So that all fits through there now. So it's, yeah, look, it's getting a bit late here now, so I'll see how much more we can get done here. But the plan is from here is to get the hub onto here. I'm going to run some cables through. I'm actually going to try and hook up the cables to the inverter as well. And if I'm going well, I'll actually try and get the control hub fixed on there. So I have still got some of these cables loose here, because the thing about working with 90mm cable is it's really hard to try and manipulate and get into the to get into place, but get it to face the angles you want to get it to face. As you can see here, this is going to come over the top here, but in saying that, it's got to come out nicely to come across in there to fit in there, but it's also got to bend around in here as well, which I'll show you later. So I'm just going to run some cable in here now, and we'll see how we go. Last night I ended up getting a bit done. I got all the wiring here done now, and I'm going to give you a quick look at what I've done so far. It's not finished, and it's not to say it won't change, because it has changed already, which I'll explain to you in a sec. What I'm set up to do now is I'm actually going to get the battery out here in a sec. Hopefully it's still got enough charge. We'll want to test the battery first, but I want to test the inverter in the control hub before I get all this fixed in there. Only thing I'm not going to be able to test is the DC-DC charger, which I'm not massively concerned, because if this is faulty out of the box there, this one is quite easy to remove. I'm more worried about if there's a problem with the box, out of the box, so to speak, and there's a problem with the inverter before I start using it. I'm going to have to pull this whole bloody thing out, and that is not something I want to bloody do. If you're wondering what's going on with the two red cables here, clearly I've just used the red cable because it suited the length. So these are the two 90mm2 cables that I got from iTech, which quite a challenge to work with. The wiring for this took me a couple of hours, because this wiring here is super difficult to manipulate and get to the angle you want to get it to. I mean, you can see there's a few different bends and different things going on here, but you can see it's not rubbing on there, it's safely going into there now. Going into here, remembering I've got the inverter going into the load side of the shunt. I've got the cable coming out the bottom here, which is coming out of the shunt, which means I'm going to be able to connect this one to the battery. Then I've also got the power for the control hub here as well, so I'll be able to just do a quick check to see if the battery monitor is working as well. This box, and I'll probably cover off in a bit more detail, is there's working space in here, but when you start using big cables like this, it becomes quite a challenge, that's for sure. But we'll see if we can do this test here. I might actually sort of show you what I'm doing here. Obviously I'll have to get the fuse for the inverter and connect them all up here. I'll have another go here. I just realised I did a whole bit here and I didn't bloody record it. So what I've done here is I've got my little testing station all ready to go here. Batteries here. The negative is going from the terminal here up into the shunt, which is coming from the, through the inverter essentially. This one here is the positive to connect to the inverter, giving it power. I've got the fuse in here that's going to be going, which is a 400 amp. I think it's an 8L fuse. This one here is power for the control hub. I jumped on here to check out the monitor screen. It's actually touch, which is quite nice, actually quite like the look of it. Haven't programmed him yet, but I'll worry about that later. I'm testing this out. I'm making sure all the the switches light up and do what they're supposed to do. I'm going to check the 6 sockets here, going to check the USB A and C ports as well to make sure all those work. Inverter actually has power, so I haven't connected up the remote yet. I've just used the power switch in the back here, which it does go through a little sort of phase here upon first connection to make sure there's no fault or dead lines. I've checked that to make sure everything's going through there as it's supposed to. Inverter, the air fryer here is only, I think it's like 1250 watt. Nothing massive. I didn't want to grab the big boy out here. Power cable is just plugged in the socket here. I'm going to let this run for about 10 or 15 minutes, give it a really good going over. Here we go, it's all good. It's actually drawing 126 amps out of this one at the moment. So the battery, I hadn't charged since I've got it. I've had it for about 3 months, but it's still sitting about 13.5 volts, which is nice. Assuming all this goes well, there's no smoke, nothing bad happens, I will disconnect all this. I'm going to chuck this battery on charge. Make sure it's ready to go because I actually want to see how it or how many volts this thing actually maxes out to, because I want to make sure it can actually get to maximum capacity again before I put it in there. DC charger, like I mentioned before, I'm not too worried about that one there because that's a removable part and not too big a deal. And after that, the next thing I need to work out is this battery. As you can see here, it's got the terminals on the far sides. The battery is going to be going across ways rather than at the same end, so I need to work out exactly how long a cable I'm going to need, and I've got to work out where I'm going to put the holes to run the cabling through. Then after that, we're onto the water pump, connecting up the air compressor, and of course with the water pump here I need to work out where it's going to go, and we're slowly but surely bloody getting there. All right, now this is quite exciting, and this is my first. Well, it's the first look I've had at this part of the build, and it's a matter of millimeters for reasons that I didn't expect, and I'll show you those in a moment. But I'm about to put in this battery tray here, which is going to go down the back there because I need to know exactly where I'm going to cut the hole to run the cables through. From there, I also need to work out, it's probably a bit hard to see, sorry, on the inside exactly where I'm going to put the water pump and how the hose is going to connect up down there. Sun's a bit bloody bright there. But something I didn't expect was this, and that is the gap up the top there. I think you just see it on the camera. It's about a finger space gap through there, and there's actually a bracket back there, so that's nice. I wasn't even thinking about this when I was putting it in here. And then the other side here, see the gap there? And again, it's about a finger space gap. And there's a bit of a look at her. So really exciting to see this part here, and obviously the access down the side here, I'll work out another day. Right, I'm holed up here in the canopy now, and what I've done is I've got the board that I was actually going to be putting in here behind the fridge, and here's the battery here, and looking at the positive and negative terminals and which way they go, thinking I'll go this way because I think if I do a hole around here, I can run the cable straight through and I can actually have the fuse with the cable coming in here, fuse mounted there, and cable coming out there, and that should do it. And then on this board here is where I'll put the AC charger. Now with all that done here, next couple of jobs are, I'm going to sort the wiring out for the air compressor that I have here. So basically the air compressor has been running off the Anderson for a while, so I'm going to take that out. I'm going to put 2 lugs on here as well. One is going to be shorter than the other because one is going to the MIDI fuse, one is going to the buzz bar. So you got the switch from the air compressor, which is just going to go straight to one of the switches on the control hub there. So I'm ready to fix on the water pump. I've worked out where that's going to go. The water pump is, I'm not too sure actually. I feel like I'll put the water pump on, have the hose there loose and connect the hose up when I get there, because I feel like it's going to be easier to do that than connect it all up first, then fix a water pump in here, because it is going to be a bit of a reach and to get in there. Take two, I just did a whole little section there and turned out I didn't actually hit the record button. So where we're up to now is, sorry if I'm talking a bit loud, it's because I don't have the microphone on because that's gone flat. It's time for us to fit the 40 amp AC to DC charger, or BC charger. So this is the newer BC40, it's a 40 amp charger as opposed to the 20 amp, and I think they do a 60 amp charger as well. For those who don't know, we've actually got the old 20 amp one in our camper trailer. I've had it in there about a year. It's done a good job. And obviously the reason we're going for a 40 amp in this one here is because there's probably more, you know, I'm not sure about driving around town whether that's going to, you know, keep the battery charged. Remember, we've got the 40 amp DC as well, but this one here, thought it'd be nice to, if I'm ever parked up at home, I can run an extension cord out and charge it that way, but it's also there as a backup in case I do something or have a problem, and I can actually use the camper trailer to use this to charge the battery in here and vice versa as well, which is pretty cool. The new one is a little bit thinner. On-off switch on the end here, kettle plug connection which is there. So I've got the positive and negative terminal which are all nice and easy. I can't see that there's any screws supplied with this one. They may have been, they might have fallen out, I'm not too sure. They do supply two sets of cables. One set of cables is only for the 6mm terminals, but they do supply another one that actually has an 8mm terminal supplied to that. When I was in there the other day, I did get a rough idea about the sort of spot I want. I kind of want at the top there. I am being mindful of the cables that are going to come out this side here, and the cables are coming in this side from the inverter and that sort of stuff there. I want to keep it high above the battery. I don't want to go too high because I am going to have a lid that's going to fit in here, and I'm actually going to have some brackets that are going to come out over the top there. So all things going well, about there is the right spot. You do go through a lot of screws and different hardware at a time. I've gone through heaps of washers. I think I'm probably bloody nearly out of washers now. I'm kind of on reserves. We'll see what I can drum up here now, and we'll get this one bloody fixed in here. That's all tied up. Again, it's all ready to go. It's actually found washers for that one there, so as you can see, nice and easy fit on there. I can fit on the roof and the brackets, and I can fit the battery will fit in here, no worries. And these cables are just going to go straight out through the hole that's going to be here, and I've got enough room to plug in the power cable to charge him. So other than some cable tie-ups and some bits and pieces I need to clean up, like conduit and fixing, you know, some cables, and I'm waiting on the water tank monitor now. They're all little fiddly things I can do throughout the week, and I think, well, I'm fairly sure, and I'm setting myself up for it. Oh, I just remember something I need to do. Next build video will be me fitting this bloody thing in. Only thing I haven't done, which I only just bloody remembered, and we'll see what else I've forgotten, is running the DC cable from the main battery and from the alternator. I've got the other cables here, which are these ones here from iTECHWORLD, so I just got to connect that up essentially, so I won't need the extension cable. That one there shouldn't be too difficult. This one does come with the fuse fixed on there as well, so the other ones that connect in the side of the hub there, this will connect to the battery. This one here will connect to an earth which I have on the chassis, which is just under here, so that one there will all be a little bit easier for me. So thanks for sticking around. I hope it wasn't too long a video. Very excited. We're closing in on this one, and hopefully the next video of this one actually going in. Something else I just remembered as well, I've got the tank breather hose that I'll be able to put in, but that's something I'm pretty sure I can knock out in at least in a day, but definitely in a video for you. So very exciting. I hope you're getting something out of this. Let me know in the comments if I missed something, or you'd like some more information on something, or any questions at all. Let me know what you think and what you're finding, any tips you've got. Let me know. This video will likely come out before I finish that, so any advice you've got, let rip. And again, really appreciate your support. Those of you who've been dropping and hitting a like on the video as well, which helps us out. Thank you, appreciate it. And if you're just someone who thought you'd check out what's going on here, again, thank you. All the support is appreciated, and it's really cherished. So thank you. I'm Diesel for Getting Around Oz, camper, trailer, travel, and Kex, and we'll catch you in the next one. Hooroo.